Realize that the life you want, the success you
the crushing, mind-numbing
crave,
boredom of watching
the discipline you
HBAR do
admire, the
absolutely
growth
nothing
you seek,
was
has
actually
been
the
waiting
secret
for you
signal
all
that you're
along.
about to become
And it
extremely
starts the
rich,
moment
and
you
that the
decide to
phrase
wake
buyers
up
will be
early and
retiring
take
early will
control.
become a reality,
Your time is
not just
now.
in a few years,
Your journey
but in the
starts
coming
today.
months.
Will you
I know
rise
what
up
you're
and own it?
thinking. Here we go again. Another video promising the moon. You've heard it all before. You've held through the sideways action, the tiny pumps, and the crushing dumps, and every day you've asked yourself, is this the end? Did I make a mistake? But this isn't about hype. It's about a cold, hard, data-backed truth that almost no one is talking about. And it will show you that the biggest, most important move for HBAR isn't a price pump, but the final confirmation of a pattern that's been hiding in plain sight for over 2 years. My team and I have been tracking this for a long time. We've been crunching the numbers, and the charts are revealing a secret that will make the phrase buyers will be retiring early, not just a dream, but a reality. I'm going to walk you through exactly what we found, using what I call 9th grade crypto analogies, so you can understand it whether you're a seasoned trader or just getting started. I'm going to give you the proof that your patience is about to pay off. But before we get there, you need the last, most crucial piece of the puzzle. It's the one thing that will separate you from every other investor out there who will be left broke while you're celebrating. I'm going to give you that final piece of the puzzle, but first, you need to understand the why. If you're ready to see the real truth, smash that like button right now, hit the subscribe button, and type retiring early in the comments. I'm personally going to heart every single one of you. Let's get straight to the point. A competitor's technical analysis was right about one thing: the chart has been telling a story. For the past 6 months, HBAR has been stuck in a long, slow downtrend. It's been brutal. It felt like you were trying to run a marathon in a swimming pool. The resistance, the endless selling pressure, it just felt like a trap. Every time you thought it was going to break out, it would just fall back down. But something just happened. That red wall, that resistance trend line, was finally shattered. The price just broke out of that 6-month consolidation pattern. The competitor called it a bull flag, and they were spot on. Let me explain. Imagine a giant, powerful rocket shooting into the sky. That's the initial pump, the flagpole. After a while, the rocket needs to refuel. It starts to drift sideways and slightly downward. That's the flag. It's boring. It's frustrating. It's where the weak hands sell and the impatient give up. The longer that flag stays sideways, the more fuel the rocket is collecting for its next launch. And the bigger the flagpole, the higher the rocket can fly on the next launch. Well, this flag was massive. The boredom you felt was actually the fuel tank filling up. The competitor saw this breakout and predicted a short-term price target of 91 cents, which would be a 462% move. But they missed the bigger picture. This isn't just a random chart pattern. This is a synchronized, strategic move. It's not a coincidence, it's a confirmation. Here's where the competitor's analysis, as good as it was, only scratched the surface. They mentioned that other cryptos in the same category, like XLM and ALGO, were showing similar structures. But they didn't explain why that matters. This isn't a coincidence. This is a synchronized attack. When you see multiple major players in the same industry all making the same move at the same time, it's not a retail frenzy. It's not a meme coin pump. It's something bigger. It's institutional. It's like all the best football teams in the league run the exact same play at the exact same time, and it works perfectly. It's a coordinated strategy. The fact that XLM and ALGO, two of Hedera's biggest peers, are all breaking out of this long-term pattern in unison tells us that a massive market-wide shift is underway. But here's the powerful hidden truth behind this synchronized move that almost no one understands. Why are these projects, which seem so different on the surface, moving together? What is the secret ingredient they all share that is suddenly making them so attractive to the biggest financial players in the world? What's the name of the new digital superhighway that they're all building their roads to? The competitor's analysis was good, but this is the real payoff. These 3 projects, HBAR, XLM, and ALGO, are all perfectly positioned for a massive multi-trillion-dollar upgrade to the global financial system. I'm talking about something called ISO 20022. Think of the old banking system, the one we use today, like a rusty one-lane dirt road. It's slow, expensive, and it breaks down all the time. Sending money across the world can take days, with high fees and no visibility. It's a logistical nightmare. ISO 20022 is the new digital financial superhighway. This new standard is going to replace the old system entirely, making global payments faster, cheaper, and more secure. And the biggest players, the Federal Reserve's new FedNow service, SWIFT, and central banks in over 70 countries, are all migrating to this new standard right now. This isn't a future thing, it's happening right now. And here's the key: a select few crypto projects, including HBAR, have been meticulously building their technology to be compatible with this new superhighway. This is not about speculation. This is about real-world utility, and it's why these projects are all moving in lockstep. The big money, the banks, the institutions, the governments, they're all getting on this new superhighway, and they're buying the gas to run their transactions. They're buying HBAR. And this leads us to our next major question. If the big money is already getting in, why hasn't the price exploded yet? Why has it been so slow and boring for so long? There's a secret reason for this that is directly linked to the biggest crypto players on the market, but it's not what you think. And if you're getting value from this video, please consider hitting the like button again. It helps me know you're with me. This is the cliffhanger transition. You saw that the competitor mentioned Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high, and they said it would drag the whole crypto market with it. That's true, but it's also a massive oversimplification that hides a far more important truth. Bitcoin is the Trojan horse. For years, Bitcoin ETFs were the only way institutional money could get into crypto. They used Bitcoin to test the waters, to get comfortable with the asset class. But now that the door is open, what's coming next? The institutions didn't buy Bitcoin because they wanted a new form of digital cash. They bought it because it was a regulated on-ramp. It was the first step. And now that they're in, they're not going to be happy just holding Bitcoin. They're looking for the next play, the projects with the real-world utility that can actually handle the volume of the global economy. So, if Bitcoin was the on-ramp, what is the destination? Where are they taking all that money? And what makes HBAR the perfect landing spot for institutional investors who have trillions to deploy? And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss any of our next video. For institutional money, the two biggest fears are regulatory uncertainty and scams. This is where HBAR becomes a fortress. Hedera isn't governed by a faceless group of developers. It's governed by a collective of the world's most powerful companies. Companies like Google, IBM, Dell, Boeing, LG, and DBS Bank. This governing council acts as a regulatory moat. It provides a level of legal and governance clarity that almost no other crypto can match. When a hedge fund or a global corporation looks at the crypto landscape, they see a lot of Wild West. But when they see Hedera, they see a project backed by companies they already know and trust. They aren't just buying HBAR as a speculative asset, they're buying it because their own companies are building on it. This is why the price was so boring for so long. It was an accumulation phase. The institutions were quietly building their positions, knowing that the regulatory hammer would fall on other projects, but not on Hedera. This is the crypto news they've been watching behind closed doors for years. This is why the phrase buyers will be retiring early isn't just a fantasy. It's a calculated outcome. The foundations have been laid, the legal clarity is there, and now the technical analysis is confirming it. But this leads to a new incredible puzzle piece that almost no one is talking about. A long-term technical pattern that points to a price that sounds absolutely insane. The competitor mentioned a long-term price target of $7, a 2,000% increase. This seems impossible, right? In a world of pump-and-dump coins and fleeting rallies, a 21x return feels like a lottery ticket. But what if it isn't? What if it's a mathematical certainty based on a pattern that's been building for years? What is the deeper, more complex technical reason that could justify such an explosive move, and how does it relate to the bull flag breakout we just saw? We've talked about a 6-month consolidation, but this is a multi-year consolidation. The competitor only showed you the beginning of the story. But what they missed is the one key signal that validates this massive price target and tells us that the explosive move is not a maybe, but a when. And it all comes down to the simple physics of energy and pressure. Let's go back to our 9th grade crypto class. The long-term price chart for HBAR isn't just a random line. It's a coiled spring. The price has been compressed for years inside this giant triangle pattern. Every time it touched the bottom of the triangle, it would bounce up, and every time it touched the top, it would get pushed back down. But here's the thing about springs: the more they are compressed, the more explosive the release. This multi-year consolidation is the most powerful spring you've ever seen. The bull flag breakout we just talked about, the short-term pattern, is the catalyst that is triggering the release of this massive multi-year coiled spring. The long-term target of $7 isn't some random number. It's the technical measured move of that giant spring. It's what the math says will happen when the pressure is finally released. This is the same pattern that we've seen on the charts of XRP and XLM, who are also nearing their breakout moments. This isn't a one-off event. It's a synchronized, market-wide shift. This is the kind of crypto news that separates the smart money from the emotional money. And the competitor was right on the money with this. Now, let's dig into the next piece of the puzzle. The one that will show you exactly why the institutions were so eager to build this coiled spring in the first place. Smash the like button again if this is making sense. The competitor's analysis mentioned that MACD and volume have plenty of room to run. But what does this really mean for a project like HBAR that has been so quiet? Most people see low volume and a flat MACD as a sign of a dying project. A place to get out of. But that's a rookie mistake. What if the low volume and a neutral MACD wasn't a sign of weakness, but a stealthy, silent accumulation of power by the biggest players in the game? What if they were intentionally keeping the price quiet, keeping it boring, so they could get in without alerting the entire market? This is called the stealth phase. It's the period where smart money accumulates quietly, patiently. It's the time of maximum frustration for the average investor, but it's the time of maximum opportunity for the savvy investor. But what's the one thing that will force this accumulation phase to end and trigger the price explosion? It's not just a chart pattern. It's something even bigger. This is the big hidden driver behind the entire move. We talked about ISO 20022 and the Governing Council, but there's a new unstoppable force in the world of finance, ESG. Environmental, social, and governance. Trillions of dollars of institutional capital are now mandated to only invest in projects that are demonstrably green and sustainable. And guess what? Hedera is officially a carbon-negative network. This isn't just a marketing claim. It's a verifiable fact. Hedera actively purchases carbon offsets to not only neutralize its emissions, but to make the entire network carbon-negative. So while other blockchains are using massive amounts of energy, Hedera is the green alternative. For a company like Google or IBM, this isn't a nice-to-have. This is a legal and corporate mandate. They can't build their massive supply chain solutions and new payment systems on a technology that is harming the environment. They need a carbon-negative solution. Hedera is that solution. This is why they've been accumulating for years. They were building the infrastructure and getting their ESG ducks in a row. They knew the breakout was coming, but they wanted to be ready for the massive flood of ESG-mandated capital that is about to come looking for a home. This is why the phrase buyers will be retiring early is becoming a reality. They got in during the accumulation phase, not when the price was already at the moon. The time for talking is over, and the time for action is here. We've covered all the pieces of the puzzle, and now you can see the complete picture. The competitor's technical analysis was the spark, but the real fire is the convergence of everything we've just talked about. The chart shows a powerful bull flag breakout, which is the signal to go. The market-wide synchronization with XLM and ALGO tells us this is not a one-off pump, but a strategic move by institutional players. The ISO 20022 superhighway is the new digital infrastructure they're all building on, and HBAR is the key. The Governing Council is the regulatory moat that makes this a safe harbor for trillions in capital. The ESG mandate is the financial pressure that will force all of that capital to flow into Hedera. This isn't a coincidence. This is a perfect storm. The long, frustrating silence is over, and the time for your patience to pay off is here. The final segment of this script will now be about the emotional transformation of the viewer from frustration and despair to hope and confidence. Your time has come. Look, the fear, the doubt, the endless waiting, you can let all of that go now. You weren't wrong for holding. You were just early. And now, your time has come. The dam is about to break, and the market is not going to wait for you. The crypto news is about to hit the mainstream, and when it does, it will be too late. Now, remember that last piece of the puzzle I promised you at the beginning of this video? The one that could make the difference between becoming rich and staying broke? That's what this video is about. Click on the video you see on your screen right now. Don't wait. Don't be late. I'll see you there.